Now, KOB Eyewitness News 4 at 10.
It was a terrifying scene outside of Roswell Middle School after police say a 12-year-old boy shot two other students.
First call I got, there was just a shooting at the school.
Tonight, we're hearing what was happening on the inside.
Everyone was freaking out, and it was just total chaos.
A young student who was shot talks only to 4 about that tragic day that rocked New Mexico. 13-year-old Kendall Sanders was shot that January morning inside the gym at Berendo Middle School.
And Lauren Hansard has the exclusive interview you'll see only on 4 tonight.
It was January 14th, just like any other Tuesday.
It was just a regular morning. I go into the gym and sit down talking with all my friends, and just out of nowhere,
oh my God!
You hear this big, really, really loud sound.
We're in your middle school. Kid just got shot.
I thought it was fireworks because I've been hit with a Roman candle before, and that's what I thought it was. But it wasn't.
Kendall Sanders describes what unfolded next.
And everyone was freaking out, and it was just total chaos. After it all happened, I looked down and I saw him standing in the middle of the gym with the big gun right on the ground in front of him with his hands up.
Police say her classmate, 12-year-old Mason Campbell, walked into the gym with a sawed-off shotgun and opened fire. 2 students were hit. Kendall had no idea she was one of them until
one of my friends was like, "Oh my God, Kendall, you're bleeding." Like, when we got inside the classroom, I was like, "Miss Featherstone, I'm really hurting." And like, she looked, she's like, "Oh my God."
First call I got, there was just a shooting at the school. And the second call I got about halfway here was that they were taking my daughter to the emergency room just to check her out. They didn't tell me she got shot at the same time.
Kendall remembers how her teacher called 911.
And I have a student that's been, she's been shot.
When they knocked on the door, they're all sheriffs, open up, and she's like, "Show me your badges. I'm not letting you in until you show me your badges." And they showed her, and she let them in, and they took me from there. That's where I had my bypass.
It's been very stressful, financially, physical, mentally, just draining. All the bills coming in and stuff, and just every day kind of get madder and madder every day, just seeing what's Kendall's going through.
Kendall was hospitalized for nearly a week. Inside her body, still 150 lead pellets. They cause muscle spasms, pain, and recurring infections, but they're near major organs and can't be removed.
The expenses are just unreal.
The medical bills add up to $200,000, and they keep coming. The Sanders want the shooter's family to help.
Our main thing is step up to the plate and take care of the financial responsibility. You know, it's not fair to us to have to pay for everything. Why should we have to pay for it, or the state have to pay for everything?
Even so, Kendall's father says they've forgiven the Campbells.
I want to clear the record. We do not mean any ill will to the family. We don't hate Mason. We don't mean anything towards the family.
It's not the same at all. It probably won't be for a while.
Kendall says she can't wait to return to Berendo Middle School, something she hopes to do this fall.
I'm going to see my friends and being able to go to all my classes and talk with them every day and just seeing them all the time.
In Roswell, Lauren Hansard, KOB Eyewitness News 4.
Still a tough road ahead, and Kendall's parents say they're hoping to work out an agreement with the Campbells, but if not, the Sanders family will be filing a lawsuit.
A chaotic scene for a repo man just trying to do his job today.
Let him go, Charles!
This one didn't have to end up the way it did.
The victim's wife could be heard shouting, pleading with the man to release her husband. She shot this cell phone video. Turns out the suspect is a New Mexico State police officer who is already on administrative leave. Our Danielle Tedesco spoke with that man in the chokehold tonight. It's an interview you'll see only on 4. Danielle.
Tom, that repo man admits he has a dangerous job, but he says he has never had an encounter like this before.
Charles, let him go.
A wife pleads for the man holding her husband to let him go. This husband and wife team put themselves in danger every day, repossessing vehicles for a living. But the man in the chokehold says this encounter was a first.
trying to keep calm, trying to keep his arms out of my airway. That way, I could breathe.
The victim asked us to protect his identity because of the dangers of his job. He says he and his wife were getting ready to repossess Charles Vernier's vehicle when Vernier walked up. The man told me the state cop quickly became combative and put him in a chokehold for almost 9 minutes.
Let go of it.
Let him go, Charles.
You get your stuff. You understand that?
He won't be able to breathe. Let him go.
He says no matter what he said or did, he just couldn't reason with Vernier. The victim's wife called police, even tried defending her husband.
Don't do that! You're hurting him!
I'm going to restrain you too if I have to.
That this could go from bad to worse. Just a very scary moment at that point, because I'm already having trouble trying to keep him off of me as much as possible, and then now he's threatening to get other people involved.
When police finally show up, Vernier lets go of the man. Then this happens.
Put your hands on your head.
No, I'm not being handcuffed today.
Yes, you are. Turn around. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. I'm going to tase you. Stop. Stop.
It's not worth going through what what this gentleman has gone through and is going through over a vehicle.
Charles Vernier has since bonded out of jail. The victim tells me his left arm was numb for quite a while after that incident. He says he fully intends on pressing charges. Tessa?
Some very dramatic video, Danielle, thanks. And we tried to talk to Officer Vernier about his arrest to, of course, get his side to this story. But take a look at what happened when our Jen Samp knocked on his apartment door today.
Hi, we're with KOB Channel 4. Is that okay if we...
Not much to say there. Officer Vernier was already on leave before this incident, but State Police Chief Casetta says he cannot talk about why. Officer Vernier has been with State Police for nearly 2 years.
We talked to Officer Vernier's neighbors about his arrest. Many are surprised he's accused of doing what you saw on video.
It scares me. It really does. And a state police officer, that's very scary.
We used to think they were more superior than regular people, but that's not the case anymore.
The officer accused of kneeing a DWI suspect and shattering one of his testicles is now on desk duty. 24-year-old law student Jeremy Martin plans to sue the officer he says forced him to get his testicle surgically removed. Martin's attorney says it happened when Martin was pulled over near UNM last Friday. Police say he ran a stop sign while driving drunk. Well, according to a police report, Martin was resisting and got too close to the officer during the traffic stop. APD released a statement saying the department is investigating and will take appropriate action, including termination if it is warranted.
Albuquerque police say a man was stabbed while going to a yard sale in southeast Albuquerque. Police say the victim told them he was getting out of his car to check out the sale near Zuni in Louisiana. They say a man he didn't know walked up to him and the two began fighting. That's when the man pulled out a knife and stabbed the victim several times. The victim was taken to the hospital. He is expected to survive.
So we know the weekend's supposed to be really nice weather-wise, but we've got some really good news about the weather tonight. New Mexico could actually be getting a lot more rain this year. Lead forecaster Eddie Garcia is here to tell us what exactly could be bringing in more storms. Eddie, whatever it is, I say bring it on.
Well, you know what? We're bringing it on, Tessa. We keep on getting good news, not only about this weekend, but here is your latest El Nino report. El Nino basically means a wetter season for us. Now, right here, this is a diagram, an ink blot test, if you will. No, I'm just kidding. This is the sea surface temperatures that we're measuring. Red is good. Red moving towards us means that we have better possibilities of getting rain in here for monsoon. So we know that that's happening. That was the latest reading that you just saw. And of course, this is what we could see with the monsoon season, not only just for this summer, but it also has good news for later on in the year. More about that in just one moment. And we're basing this on past data. This is back in 1997. All you need to see here is United States. All this red is hot surface water. So that's a lot of evaporation, like you're boiling a pot of water. All that steam or that rain comes towards the southwest. So we're talking about a good monsoon, but the benefits could extend well beyond that.
It's very good news. Typically, we're not going to break a drought with a good monsoon season, but it definitely helps and it's good news for the fall and winter and spring of 2015 seasons for above average snowfall.
Get those skis ready for next winter, perhaps. So a 50% chance, better than nothing, but we're talking about some really good weather for the immediate, for your forecast this weekend. I'll show you everything you can expect coming up.
All right, Eddie. The U.S. Department of Energy has postponed certain nuclear waste shipments from the Los Alamos National Laboratory to a storage facility in West Texas. The feds say they're evaluating contents of a set of drums that came from the lab. Officials say the contents may have had a chemical reaction, causing a potential release of what's inside. The lab is on a tight deadline to move the waste before the wildfire season peaks. Lionel started shipping its waste to Texas after the waste isolation pilot plant near Carlsbad was closed because of a radiation leak. Crews just determined a 2-ton bag placed on top of a waste container to keep radiation from leaking was damaged, causing the mid-February leak. They don't know how the container was damaged.
There's some more frustration tonight over student testing. The mother of a second grader in Las Cruces says her son just breezed through the discovery test, which she says made his teacher pretty angry because the boy brought home this handwritten note you see right here. It says, "I took the most important test of second grade and I made the choice not to do my best." Now she says other students had to copy the same note, take it home to their parents. The mom says she's not upset with the teacher or even the school, but she does worry that kids are simply taking too many tests and they're stressed out. Now we couldn't reach Las Cruces schools after hours today.
The U.S. has reported its first case of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS. It's a virus with a 30% fatality rate that's been spreading in Saudi Arabia and surrounding countries. The infected patient is a healthcare worker who recently returned from Saudi Arabia. The person is in isolation tonight in an Indiana hospital.
The first crisis intervention training course has ended for APD, but is APD really taking a proactive step? Some say this should have happened a long time ago. That story's coming up next.
And nearly half of a New Mexico college baseball team gets arrested today. Find out why.